post on social media last night saying that all PDF files in Grapist should die, meaning that he believes that David is obviously guilty and that he believes that David should no longer be on this earth because of what he did to Celeste Rivas.
Where's your media training?
I personally don't.
Yo, I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of
D4VD's brother, his name is Caleb, the one that posted this. Remember a few months ago when people found that footage of what looked allegedly to be David's brother and Celeste backstage at a show?
So now people are looking at David's entire situation very differently because his own brother Caleb allegedly tried to warn police about him 3 years ago. And if that's true, it means somebody close to him may have seen signs long before Celeste ever entered the picture and tried to stop it before things got worse. Now everyone's asking what exactly Caleb told the police back then, because if there was already a warning on record, how was David still able to move freely with no one stepping in? As you guys probably know, David's family has been pretty low-key since this scandal hit. So for his brother to allegedly go outside the family and contact authorities, that suggests whatever he knew may have been serious enough to break that silence. And that's where this story gets darker, because some people believe Celeste could have been saved if those warnings had been taken seriously the first time. But what police allegedly ignored is only part of it. The real question is what Caleb saw that made him desperate enough to speak out years early.
David really messed up because not even his family is on his side. His own brother wishes his death. That is just crazy.
The first real sign that things were starting to crack inside David's family came when David's brother Caleb suddenly went on Instagram and posted a message nobody could ignore. On his IG stories, he wrote, "All files and should die. Period." That was it. No names, no explanation, just one sentence. But the timing had people instantly connecting the dots. Now, as you guys probably know, David is about to go on trial over accusations that he allegedly SA'd a 14-year-old girl, then unalived her to hide that secret relationship so his career wouldn't be ruined. So with a case that's serious hanging over the family, most people assumed lawyers would be telling everyone close to him to stay silent, stay offline, and stop adding fuel to the fire. Which is why this post hits so differently. Because for his own brother to log on and make a statement that blunt, people started saying he wanted to make one thing crystal clear. He does not stand with David at all. And once that message went up, people stopped asking whether the family was divided and started asking how long that divide had really been there. Because if the brother felt that strongly about it, then it's very possible other family members knew as well. So if he was willing to say that publicly now, what had he been saying privately years ago? Now, a lot of people believe the brother's post wasn't random anger. They think it came from knowing far more than the public knew. Because once people started laying the timeline out, some ugly details began lining up. Screenshots from Discord and other social platforms have been circulating with claims that David and Celeste may have been involved as far back as 2022. If that timeline is true, Celeste would have been around 11 or 12, while David was already 17 or 18. Now, when those claims first surfaced, some of David's supporters tried to argue Celeste lied about her age, but that defense never landed with a lot of people. In nearly every photo shared online, she visibly looked like a child. But the part that really shook people came when they went back through David's music. Because in 2022, he released a track called Romantic Homicide, then followed it with a video months later. At first, people treated it like edgy heartbreak music. Then the police reports tied to Celeste started spreading online, and suddenly listeners heard the lyrics very differently. He says lines about someone dying in the back of his mind, feeling no tears, no regret, and even admitting violent thoughts. What once sounded dramatic to fans now sounded deeply unsettling. And it got even creepier when viewers pointed out that the woman used in the video eerily resembled Celeste. So now people are asking whether Caleb saw these warning signs long before anyone else did. Because if the internet can connect those dots afterward, how much did the family notice in real time? And if he really tried to alert authorities back then, why was he the only one acting like something was seriously wrong? See, what's making many people uneasy is that so much of the evidence being discussed suggests David may not have been operating in total isolation. A few weeks ago, private investigator Stephen Fisher made a post that spread fast online after sharing his view of the case. Now, as you guys probably know, Fisher works missing person cases and has been involved in looking into Celeste's disappearance since the beginning, while coordinating with law enforcement during parts of that process. So when he spoke, people listened. After months of reviewing the circumstances surrounding Celeste's death, here's what he had to say. A vicious, sick group of people brutally hacked her arms and legs off her body. Was she alive when they started? And yes, I am using plural terms because, in my professional opinion, there is no way one person did this alone, whether participating directly or as an accessory. Yet only one individual is named as a target in the court filings. That statement changed the temperature temperature immediately. Because once people hear an investigator say multiple people may have been involved, they start asking who in his circle stood nearby and stayed quiet. But Fisher didn't stop there. He directly mentioned David's friend Neo Langston, saying Neo knew exactly what was going on. Now, as y'all know, Neo allegedly spent weeks avoiding police before eventually being located, arrested, and compelled to testify before a grand jury. So if he knew nothing, why did authorities push that hard to get him in the room? And if Neo allegedly knew enough to become that important to investigators, people believe he may not have been the only one in David's circle aware of the relationship with Celeste. That's the part people can't shake, because it would mean warnings were there, whispers were there, and multiple chances to step in may have been there too. And yet, multiple people made the choice to stay silent until it was too late. Once the pressure started building, people noticed something else. A lot of David's friends suddenly began distancing themselves.
One thing I also want to add to the David situation. I did not know anything. I'm not even close friends with David. I made a song with him. All right, I had dinner with him one time in a group setting, and then I'm best friends with him. No, bro, that's just insane.
But people were quick to point out that this shift didn't happen when Celeste first went missing. It didn't happen when rumors first spread. And it didn't even happen right after her body was reportedly found in David's car. According to people following the case, some of them were still openly around him during that period. That's why the sudden separation raised eyebrows. Because once investigators appeared to be closing in, and the possibility of real consequences became harder to ignore, statements started rolling out about cutting ties, stepping back, and wanting no connection to him.
There's so much stuff that goes behind the scenes that you guys just do not see. But I digress. You guys will probably find out some of the people I'm talking about very soon, because when you're a bad person, eventually everyone finds out naturally. That's the thing about bad people. They expose themselves. I don't need to do anything. Karma's a bitch.
One name that drew heavy attention was Asia Collins. She went on Reddit and tried to downplay how well she knew Celeste, claiming they had only met briefly once. Then she shifted into discussing her own past trauma and months of harassment she said she had received because of her connection to David. But that did not land well, because many readers felt the focus was being moved away from Celeste and redirected onto sympathy for people who had stayed around David far too long. One reply that got a lot of support said, "Respectfully, Asia, but most of what you said is straight BS and contradictory. For months after Celeste's body was found, you made a bunch of posts over social media with silly jokes that coincidentally matched with Celeste's case. Let's not play dumb or act like children here." Others were basically saying the same thing. If you truly saw nothing, why did your behavior look so casual while this family was grieving? And while Caleb seems determined to publicly separate himself from all of this, people notice the rest of the family appears to be moving in the opposite direction. In a recent statement to the press, his parents said they were sad and disappointed David had been arrested, while also saying they believed he was innocent. And that made people pause, because most people understand a family wanting to stand by their son. Nobody expects parents to publicly abandon him overnight, but to a lot of people, it sounded like they were just upset their son got caught. People also pointed out that there was no visible expression of sympathy for Celeste, no condolences for her family, and no acknowledgement of the horror surrounding what happened to her. Whether David is guilty or not, many felt basic compassion would have been the bare minimum. Instead, the family shifted straight into defense mode. Shortly after the case went viral, David's mother, Colleen, was reportedly seen purchasing a firearm, which some interpreted as self-protection amid public anger. Then, separate rumors spread that his father, Dawood, described online as a powerful attorney, was using influence behind the scenes to shield David from consequences. So now people are asking a brutal question. Why does the brother seem like the only one publicly acting disturbed by what happened, while the adults appear focused on protecting David? And if the brother was warning people years ago while others stayed loyal, what else inside that family still hasn't come out?